Today I'm going to hang an axe head. We have here I believe you say that, Gransfors Bruk from Sweden, axe head. Oh, it might be a small carpenter's axe or small forest axe or something like that. I forget what they call this particular model. It's a nice little axe, very well made. You can see there's maker's marks there. I'm not sure. Whoever LP is, he makes a nice axe. I believe that's their mark there. So anyway, this came from a buddy of mine who lost it in a field when he was out using it. Found it a couple years later after he had run it over with a tractor and broke the original handle, so he asked me if I could rehang it for him. The handle was shot and the head was pretty rusty and gross, so I cleaned that up pretty good. Left a little patina on it. I think it still looks pretty nice that way though. And then taped off the blade there so that I wouldn't cut myself while I was getting everything ready. I then made a handle out of, this is some ash from a tree that I had to have cut down in my yard thanks to the ash borer, like most folks out there. I have shaped it so that it fits into the head quite well, slides right up in about that far. Cut the slit in the top of the handle there about 3/4 of the way through the head so that I can get the wedge seated really well and hopefully have it stay on there quite good for a long time. And there's some discussion when it comes to axe handles as to your grain orientation. A lot of people say that your grain should run parallel to the axe head. Mine is running perpendicular. I have a lot of axes that I've put handles on that I've done perpendicular, and I've never had any issue, and lots of other folks haven't either. As long as you're using good quality wood and the grain goes the full length of the handle, you shouldn't run into too many problems. Supposedly the strongest grain orientation is 10 degrees off of perpendicular based on, I don't know, some study that was done at Yale or something like that. But this will be more than good for what I'll be doing with it and what my buddy will be using it for. So I will show you how I mount an axe head. So when it comes to mounting my axe heads, I place the head on the handle like this, and then I grab my mallet, nice wooden mallet, made by yours truly. And then the best way I found to do it is, instead of hitting the head from this direction, which is not all that effective, what you want to do is get the head on there seated pretty well, and then with your hammer hit the bottom end of the handle, and the inertia from the axe head will actually drive it up onto the handle even further. Give it a couple of good solid whacks. Hopefully you don't split your handle. And now you're ready to drive the wedge home. Alright, so time to put the wedge in. I have my axe held in my vise and the slit is cut, and my wedge is just a piece of cherry that I cut that is going to be longer than I need it to be for sure. The slit only goes to about maybe there. So I'll have more cherry there than I need. That's about all there is to it. When you get ready to go, get your wedge started in there, and then instead of hitting it right away with your mallet, you will almost definitely split your wedge if you hit it directly with this, partially just because you can't ever get a perfectly square blow. At least I can't. I'm not that good. So you just take a block of wood, which is good and square, set that on there, and then you hit your block of wood, driving it home. Here we go. That might be about all we get. As you can see, my axe is moving in the ice more than my wedge is moving in the axe at this point. It's on there pretty tight. Call that pretty good. So now what I will do is I will trim off the wedge. I will not trim it flush with the top of the handle though. We'll leave it proud maybe, I don't know, a centimeter or so, which will then allow me to drive it in further if I need to, as temperature changes, weather changes, moisture levels change. wood shrinks up a little bit, whatever the case might be. So leave it a little proud, and then I can always drive it in a little further if the head gets loose. So, thanks for watching.